สวัสดีครับเพื่อนๆวันนี้ผมพีทนะครับเราได้มีโอกาสสัมภาษณ์มือกีตาร์สุดฮอตนะครับจากอังกฤษท่านหนึ่งปีนี้เรามีโอกาสพิเศษได้สัมภาษณ์เขาอีกครั้งหนึ่งนะครับก็เดี๋ยวเรามาพบกับคุณ Alex Hutchings ครับ Hi Alex
How's it going?
Yes
Good to see you again.
Glad to have you back again.
Thank you.
Okay, so we will start with as we met last year. Okay, in your opinion, which area of playing that you think is improved for the past year?
In my own playing?
Yes.
Well, I think my main area of interest, I suppose, is in improvising, and I haven't really learned or practiced or come up with any new licks at all. It's been, I've been trying to think just musically, really. And in fact, recently I've started kind of writing new material, which is hopefully a little more musical to my ears. So it's more dynamic kind of music than what I was doing a year or so ago. So my sort of taste is changing slightly, but in a good way, I hope. So yeah, maybe more of a musical, general musicality thing.
Okay. And today, when you pick up a guitar, what do you practice? Or what do you play?
Yeah. Unfortunately, I didn't seem to practice very much these days, but that's not necessarily a good thing. But then, you know, I think it's one of those things where, you know, when you kind of learn your art when you're younger, you know, you obsess over it for hours and hours, and it kind of takes over your life. And it certainly did with me until I was maybe 26 or 7. I was just caning it every single day for 10, 12 hours, you know, when I could. And I think I've just tried to focus more on life, you know, enjoying life and getting inspiration like more emotionally than physically on the instrument, listening to music that really touches my soul, if you like. And, you know, and just being really honest about music. So, yeah, that's sort of where I'm at really at the moment. I actually forgot what your original question was.
Yeah, that's it. Okay,
Yeah.
and do you still listening to like a new style of music, new stuff at the moment?
Well, I think, as I said, just listening to music that really sort of touches my soul. I'm listening to a lot more vocal music than ever before. I mean, just the nuances in the voice of a really good singer is very inspiring to me. And if anything, without practicing it, I think subconsciously I'm influenced by listening to vocalists.
Okay.
You know.
Okay, and maybe we go a little bit back to your style of playing. When you learn new material, like a new skill, new mode, or new concept of playing, or even like ethnic music, what is your process of learning it?
Generally, I will take, say, a progression, a chord progression, and I'll often use like a loop pedal, you know, just to get the phrases. For example, if I was going to be playing over a couple of chords, and then I just loop it up. And just play maybe in a kind of a one position, and just change the scale and get used to that. There was 2 different scales there, so that's kind of how I, if you like, practice or learn. If I've got a tune that I've written and there's a sequence that I'm not so familiar with, I can sometimes, I'll just isolate that part, get familiar with it. But I think these days I try to look a little bit more beyond just a couple of chords. Yeah. So you think about a whole solo or a whole song as a dynamic shape. So yeah, sort of practice more in that way, really.
Okay, and when you do like a improvisation, both live and you're also working with a jam track central, and also your own stuff. How did you plan your solo or your improvisation? How to make it, you know, like have a peak?
Yeah. I never plan it. I actually, that's something that I specifically don't do, because I like to really leave it up to spontaneity. So I really don't, you know, all the blues jam track stuff, or should I say jam track central stuff that I've done, I just you know, improvise on the spot, you know. So even, you know, like the Feeling Fine and Song of Love were improvisations, the whole thing, even though there was some sort of melodic content. You know, I knew on those two that I was going to start in that position. I knew I was going to do that, and then that was it. The rest is improvised. And the same with, I had that much. And then that was the starting point.
And that's become your trademark.
Well, maybe at the moment,
Okay, and do you know, when improvisation, many great guitarists, you know, hear the note in advance, like 4 bar in advance. So do you do like that too?
I guess, you know, when you're learning or trying to learn some jazzy stuff, they often will say you should try to sing your solos. Now, I'm not sure if I can really do that, but I do try to hear, you know, what's going on and the next note and stuff. So I think I am thinking in that kind of vocal way. So I'm not sure what's really going on up there, but I do try, yeah.
Okay, and okay, on you playing, like when you study a standard jazz song, what is your process? How do you study it? Did you study on the other instrument versions?
Well, I mean, I've not studied a lot of jazz, although I love the sound of it, you know. I just have my kind of stock method, which isn't necessarily that good, but it's just kind of looking at each chord as they go by and finding what sits and what feels right. And then that's it really. So whether it was, you know, blue bossa or if it was like giant steps or whatever, I just try to take each one and think, that's kind of how it goes. And
so when you see the tune, you see it as a modal interchange or key center?
Generally, I'd look at, I guess, I use my ear, because sometimes, you know, theoretically there's a key center, but it doesn't necessarily always sound like that. I think I let my ear tell me what is really going on. And obviously you can hear if there's really a strong key center, say like C minor, and it just sort of diverts for a while but then comes back. Whereas obviously some tunes will actually kind of shift key for a while, and then it doesn't feel like there's a key center, there's a few. So I try to hear that again as a bigger picture, but as I'm going, kind of pinpoint each chord to try and pick up the inflections of it, you know.
So it means you need to have a good ear to understand by your ear.
Yeah, I think so. I think, you know, music really originally, I guess, was you know, done by ear before music was actually notated and everything. So I suppose the most natural way is to feel through your ears.
So do you have any suggestions on how to practice ear training for guitarists?
Yeah, well, there's lots of ways. I mean, I don't consider myself to have a great ear, actually, but so I think that the standard thing is to transcribe as much as you can and try to learn from things that really excite you, you know. And so naturally your ear and finger recognition from the recording will help you find those sounds on your instrument, you know.
Okay, and so do you use any mode on guitar playing, like melodic minor mode? Yeah. Do you use a lot?
Yeah, sure, yeah, of course, yeah.
Do you have any suggestion on how to practice it? Cause the melodic minor mode, like Super Locrian or something, is sound not familiar to our ears.
Yeah. I think you just need to start doing it. I mean, it's you know, again, it all depends in context because it can sound quite different. I did it earlier. Now that's all just melodic minor at the moment, just one scale. So you need to just keep playing it so that your ear recognizes the intervals that hopefully sound pleasing to you, you know? You know.
So it's mean like you input the new data into your ear.
Yeah.
You get your ear know the melodic minor.
Just play it round and round and try. Like I was just improvising in the melodic minor, and I guess like anything, you know, you need to learn it kind of parrot fashion first. Just, you know. And just do it in the different positions. And just try to get used to it so that it feels just like your pentatonic. It needs to feel that natural, you know. So you just need to do it as much as you would any other scale.
Okay, so that's the key, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and on your playing, is there any your favorite note, like the third, the 7, the 9?
Yeah, they're all good, and they all have different
feeling.
Yeah. So I mean, and it all depends on the context, as I say. You know, I mean, there I was accentuating, say, on an F melodic minor. You know, the 9th and the 3rd. And the major 7. But I just think of it as, you know, as the whole thing, you know, and just any note will sound great if you you know, play it in the right way, you know.
Okay, and you also play a lot of chromatic approach. So can you show us about how to practice and how to, you know, I think it helps connect all the line and the note on the fretboard together.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have anything specific that I practice. I mean, but yeah, it just connects stuff. So if I was in A minor, that, you know, the flat 5 is a standard one that most people do, you know. But you can do it in other places. That's loud. The band started up. So I mean, even the chromatic scale, if you're in a say pentatonic, I just went down the scale, you know. You wouldn't necessarily always want to do that, but of course, you know, a fragment or a piece of it is quite cool. You know, and so wherever there's a gap of, you can always, and even go down 5. So it really connects the notes together.
But you have to end on the right note, right?
Exactly, exactly, yes.
Okay, and I see from your playing, when you you shift the position of your playing.
Yeah.
Mostly guitarists use alternate picking when they shift the position. But I saw you play a legato.
Ah, yeah. What you mean, like?
Yeah, when you know. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, again, it's not something I've really thought too much about, but I guess when you're doing legato, it's smoother because you only have to worry about one hand.
sounds so smooth.
Yeah, I mean that's the legato sound, isn't it?
Yeah,
you
yeah.
need to. It's smoother than trying to pick. You know. I mean, it's still cool, but it has a different sound.
Yeah, and I saw you also use your middle finger.
Yeah, exactly.
To playing legato, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. When you change a gear, like you change guitars or change the pedals or change amp, so it gets you a new sound, right? So is the new sound lead you to the new direction of playing?
How do you mean the new?
I mean the new sound inspire you new thing, new
Yeah,
stuff?
sometimes. Yeah. I mean, I do get inspiration from pedals and you know, yes, from an amp sound or a guitar and stuff. But I think sometimes, as I was talking about earlier, it's good to have inspiration just from life and your emotions. You know, if you're feeling kind of quite very chilled and stuff, you just sometimes I pick up an acoustic guitar and just play some chords on there. You know, if I'm a bit frustrated or like I might sort of just shred a lot or you know, play something a bit heavier or something.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, I think I get inspiration from both things. You know, just personal emotion as well as the gear. You know.
Okay, and from your tuning, you're tuning in all in perfect foot.
Yes,
right?
That's right. Yeah.
So, did you get any like a new voicing or it's similar to like open tuning, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you know, of course the open strings. Like that would be hard to do on a regular. I mean, you can do it. That voicing's like that, but it's just got a different sound to it. So, and you know, I just like the fact that that it's all under your fingers quite easily, you know. Yeah.
By tuning this way, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And have you tried any new tuning, like open tuning or?
Yeah, sometimes. I mean, on this guitar, I've got the Roland pickup, which means that I can plug into there's the guitar synth GR55
and transpose there.
Exactly.
Set it to the tuning.
Which is great. So I can actually play any tuning I want without touching the tuning pegs. So I can just select any tuning. So yeah, I sometimes do, you know, drop C tuning or drop D or that bit of dad gad or. So yeah, it's helped me to play with more tunings.
Yeah. Okay, and you're talking about the guitar synthesizer.
Yeah.
And you also use many multi-effect unit, right? So how to get a good sound? Because it has a complicated setup.
Yeah.
You can set it in advanced way, you know, but how to get a good sound from them?
Well, recently what I've been doing and what I'll be doing tomorrow is actually using on the VH100 head. There's the line in and sorry, not line in, the preamp in, preamp out.
Yes.
So what I do, I plug the guitar in front of the amp. So you get the tone of the amp, but then I come out of the preamp out into the pedal and back it into the back. So it's like kind of like an effects loop. And then I just use the delays and a bit of compression and reverb, and that works really well actually. And that you know, you're just using it as a kind of a like it's supposed to be. You know, like you can program as many different delays and reverbs and stuff and choruses and flanges as you want and maintain the tone of the amp. So that's really important, the way that you connect. And there's another method called the 4-cable method, which means that you can even change the preamp. It basically takes the preamp and puts it in the pedal board, and you can move it around and turn it off. And put like a Cosm preamp, which is really interesting. I've been trying that as well.
So it's I think it's called amp modeling, right?
That's right. Yeah.
So it means you use a preamp in your effect unit. With the power amp of the amp.
Exactly. Yeah. And which is really cool.
And you can switch between the preamp, the real preamp, and the modeling, right?
Yeah. So, it's cool.
Yes. Okay. And Okay, you talk about the compressor, right? Do you use a lot of compressor in your playing?
Yeah, I like to put compressor in on. It just, you know, it just kind of tidies everything up and just squashes it together. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it's pretty hard to set up. I mean, for the new guitarists who haven't used a compressor before.
Yeah.
Do you have any advice on how to, you know, figure it out?
No, not really. I'm actually someone that likes to just turn the knob until I think it sounds good.
Oh, okay.
I'm not one of those guys that sits in the studio, a little bit of 2K here and high mids and stuff. I just use my ear and I just kind of play around with it, really. So I'm not actually that technical when it comes to it. So. But
you normally use the compressor on your clean sound, right?
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
It makes the sound like crystal clear, sparking.
Yeah, it just kind of makes it pop a little more, you know, which is, it pushes the amp as well, makes it work harder.
Okay, so any secret weapon in your setup?
Not really. I mean, as I said, I'm just using the GT100, which is the multi-effects thing at the moment, just to get some delays and reverb and a bit of compression. That's about it. And the volume pedal. I mean, I think I might have said that last time, but I always like to have a volume pedal, some delay, a reverb, bit of compression, and that's really it. That's kind of what I use, and obviously the amp. So I don't like loads and loads of effects, but I like variation. So I like to vary the sound a bit, you know.
Okay, and I heard your guitar tone in the studio is very good. Like when you play at the jam track center studio, how to get a good guitar tone?
It's actually nothing to do with me at all. Jan, who records the guitars, knows exactly what he's doing.
Oh, okay.
So I just plug in the front and then he twiddles the knobs. And that's it, really. I mean, he knows really how to mic up a cab. But
so,
yeah,
so you just set up the amp until you like it?
No, he actually sets up the amp. I just kind of plug it in and I go, yeah, that kind of sounds good. And, you know, I think the thing is, you know, as Soren was saying earlier, actually, it's hard to do it yourself. To actually really, because you need to really play and have it change a little bit. So if you have an assistant or someone that can help you, you can feel how it changes if you move a microphone or if you change the presence or whatever. And when you're doing it on your own, I think it's really hard, actually, you know, to play, and then you just have to stop, move the thing, play again, and you've kind of forgotten where you were. Whereas if someone else is doing it, you can really hear it sweep as you go. So if you can, get a friend to help you as you're recording, you know, is a good idea.
Okay, and about your new guitar.
Yeah.
It's your signature, right?
Well, kind of, yeah, we're working on it at the moment. Basically, it's a guy named Tom Waghorn who works in Bristol, where I live. And I just called him up one day and said, hey, do you fancy trying to make my kind of dream guitar? And he's like, yeah, I'll give it a go. And it's been a real challenge. This is just the prototype, the first one, it's the only one. It's all made by hand. And I just kind of basically went for things that are important to me. The first thing is the access here. I've got 26 frets. That's not necessarily important to me. I just thought I'd try because we could. But this cutaway is very important because of the way I hold my hand. Most guitars, the horn gets in the way. And this allows me to really experiment up here. So that was number one. The other thing is the balancing of the instrument fits exactly to where I want it to play. As you can see, it's not drooping down or anything like that.
So it stays like this forever.
Exactly, yeah. So it was designed at these 2 points exactly to sit there. This is going to get really sad now, but the break angle of this was, he mathematically said, that's the most optimum for stability of tuning. The bridge, I wanted it to be perfectly flat, but we've cut away outside so I can pull up. But, you know, I can play along like that. We've got the GK pickup in there as well, which means I can do the synth stuff. So I can change patches on this guitar.
Oh, you have a patch changing here.
Yeah, so
it's like a MIDI pedal.
That's right. Yeah,
oh, it's nice.
It's very cool. This is my 3-way, normal 3-way, and then a coil tap split, and this kind of turns on and off the GK.
Oh, okay.
And it's interesting because it actually kind of works a little bit like a boost. If I have it in this position. So I don't really know what's going on there, but it's quite cool.
Yeah.
And that's it really.
Little toggle.
Oh yeah, that's synth on, guitar on, and both together, and like a bypass.
Oh,
so that's when you're using the synth. Basically, all this bit here is the synth.
Yeah.
So there's just the normal guitar.
And the synthesizer guitar.
Yeah.
And you can mix it together.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you have two output.
That's right. Yeah. So I'll show you on the back. We've got the through neck here, and then we've got the jack
normal out
and the MIDI.
MIDI out.
And I had the cool idea to put it down like that, so it's out the way.
So you can even use this guitar to record a MIDI, right?
Absolutely, yeah. Oh. And I do it a lot. It's really fun. Yeah. So if you want to put down piano parts, you can just play it, and it will. It will register all the notes, so it's really good.
Okay, so can I ask more about your guitar? What is the wood?
Yeah.
The back wood.
So it's mahogany on the back. I mean, to be honest, we're experimenting with this because it's the first time I've ever kind of tried to design a guitar or co-design a guitar. So we just sort of experimented with the mahogany. We've got maple, Vengay, and Padauk.
Okay. So it's a neck true body.
Yeah.
With I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pieces.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to be honest, though, I just said, "Oh, that would look nice," because of the color of the wood.
Yeah.
And I think this is rosewood. Back plates.
Rosewood cover.
But as I said, we're just experimenting. So this is really the first one, and we have plans to try different woods and try different things out. So at this point in time, it really is just a one-off prototype for me to experiment with.
Okay.
But I look forward to trying more stuff with him.
Yeah.
And he's a great guy too.
Yeah. It's so nice. I love the fingerboard, the maple
yeah.
fingers.
Look, I also had the cool idea to do the different colors.
Yeah.
Black and red, and I put the 3 dots here, and then on the 5th the 2, and along the side here, which is a pretty nice touch.
Yeah.
And a little funny story. When we were deciding the color, I said, "Oh, I like a red. Why don't we try red?" And we were trying to find what kind of red, and there was a toothbrush, a Tesco's toothbrush, and you have Tesco here, I think.
Yes.
And I said, "That's the perfect color." So I came back a few days later, and he actually cut up the toothbrush, and this is a Tesco's toothbrush inside.
Yeah.
So
you become official Tesco toothbrush endorser.
I am an official Tesco endorser.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay. What is the goal of your guitar playing?
Well, I think it's kind of changed really. I think when I was younger, I had that same dream as everyone, which is like, oh yeah, I just want to, play as best as I can and all the rest of it. And I studied Frank Gambale really hard, and but also listened to some like sax players and all that kind of stuff, and tried to lift piano licks and stuff. But in actual fact now, I don't know if that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to focus more on just expressing how I feel, rather than doing nuts things on the guitar or crazy licks or anything. So yeah, that's it really. I think, and composing and writing music, hopefully, that people might like. Maybe.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so if you have a chance to pick your super group, who you're gonna pick?
Right. Well, my favorite drummer really is Vinny Colaiuta, even though I probably haven't said his name right, Colaiuta. Bass, to be honest, is my friend Kevin Glasgow, who is just one of the best bass players in the world, in my opinion. Lives in London at the moment. We've actually been working on a project for years, but we've never got around to recording it, but we will. and he's going to shock a lot of people out there. He's great. And sax, I guess, someone like, he's not with us anymore, but like Bob Berg or someone like really expressive sax player. And, you know, keys, I don't know, there's a lot of great 80s, you know, synth keys guys, so any one of those.
Yeah.
But I can't think right now, but yeah.
Okay. And, okay, any project you're working at the moment?
Yeah, I've just started doing some stuff with a couple of guys in my hometown of Bristol, and yeah, I'm really happy with what we've been doing. It's a very, very organic way of writing. So I'll write the tune, send it to them, and we get together and arrange it together. And I really think that's going to be the way forward for me from now on, to write in that way. So yeah, that's what I'm working on.
Okay, so last one, any words for Thai fan?
Just keep it real, play from your heart, and enjoy every note.
Okay, thank you so much, Alex.
Alright.
Nice to have you here.
Thank you.
Okay. วันนี้ก็ต้องขอบคุณบีทสปอตนะครับ Yamaha บีทสปอตสาขาเอสพลานาดรัตนาธิเบศร์มาณที่นี้ด้วยนะครับ ขอบคุณครับ